Do you remember, I don't want to say celebrate, but do you remember dates when bad things happened? Like my wife remembers the date that her mother passed away. You remember the date that you signed the divorce papers. You remember the date. And it's not like you celebrate it, but you do remember it, I'm to the point now, I'm almost ready to celebrate it. Saturday will be September the 22nd. That is 30 years to the day from when I filed bankruptcy. It's been 30 years. And all the wonderful things that have happened, because that happened, makes me almost want to celebrate it. That's sick. That's just wrong. But you know what? I mean, I owned a whole bunch of real estate, and if that had just been successful, I would just be a guy that owned a bunch of real estate. And there's nothing wrong with that. That would have been a good life. I would have had fun, and I like real estate, and I like dealing with the uniqueness of each property. There's nothing vanilla about the business. It's a new adventure every day. I'm always going to be a real estate guy in my soul. But if I hadn't failed, that's what I'd be, I guess. But we all fail, don't we? You ever think about where you would be if you didn't get knocked down? I would have just been a guy that owned some real estate. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, man, what a wonderful life I've had because I went bankrupt. It's not the path you should take. I am not suggesting this, young people. There's a better way to get to your passion, to get to God's calling on your life than I got. And what's strange is 30 years, I know I'm getting old because I remember the old stories more than I remember yesterday. I can feel, when I'm talking to one of you on the radio, I can feel the emotional pain of a 27-year-old guy with a brand new baby and a toddler that's scared out of his mind. I can feel that more real than I can feel the emotion I felt yesterday about something. And it was 30 years ago. I guess it just left a mark, didn't it? It's a wound. And that, I cut my leg when I was a kid, and I've still got the scar on my leg. It was like a bazillion stitches. I cut it really bad. So that place on my leg for the rest of my life will be sensitive. I still don't want to touch it. It still hurts. It's a scar. It's a wound. And I guess that's what I've got on my heart. And I guess you guys too. I mean, you get knocked down. You get knocked out of the saddle. You get thrown off the horse. Things don't turn out like you think they're going to turn out. Well, duh. We all kind of know that in our intellect. But when we're sitting in the middle of it, we can't help but whine a little bit about it. It's not supposed to be this way. You ever said that? I've said that. But I think you celebrate something like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I think you celebrate something like Romans 8:28 in the Bible. All things work together for good for those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Even the painful, horrible things that happen to us or that we bring on ourselves with our own stupidity. Because bankruptcy didn't happen to me. I caused it by borrowing too much money. I was just straight up stupid. I mean, I did stupid with zeros on the end, man. I can't claim victim status. I mean, there were some people in the banking world that did some things that were illegal, and they did some things that were morally wrong and certainly relationally and spiritually wrong. They just straight up lie, steal, cheat. They're just nasty human beings. But you know what? I set myself up for that because I walked into the spider's lair and then I asked the spider not to eat me. Come on. That's just dumb. So, I mean, I exposed myself to these people. Not all of them were crooks, but I mean, there were some people that did some stuff that it would have been pretty easy to claim victim status, I guess, but victim status doesn't get you there. If you don't go, okay, I get that, but my part in this is, I'm so dumb I was in the room, My part in this was, Bernie Madoff is a crook, but yeah, you kind of just walked in there and gave him a bunch of your money too and didn't think about what you were doing. So, yeah, you're a victim, no question. He was a crook. I get all of that. And I'm a victim of mean old greedy banks, and they are mean old greedy banks. I'm going to use for them to this day. But it's my fault. My fault. There's something about doing that changes the direction of your life, because it gives you the dignity of making different choices. If you assume the position of a victim, then you assume you don't have any control over any of the variables in your life and you're stuck. People like me, bald-headed people, can't win. Well, I'm bald, so I'm just screwed. What does that mean? My family's obesity runs in my family. No, nobody runs in your family. That's the problem. You got to think about this. You could take the victim thing, right? And you can decide that it's people like me, people from my neighborhood, people of whatever, millennials, baby boomers, Xers. People, old people. There's ageism now. It just isn't, it happens to everybody, y'all. Bad things happen to everybody. And everybody gets a stupid card, and some of us play the whole deck. So I'm going to celebrate today. This weekend is the 30th anniversary of the bankruptcy. The day that God loved me enough to change the direction of my life so that my life would have a whole lot more meaning than it was on track to have. I was just going to become a collector of stuff. Now I'm a collector of stories. Your stories. You, when you changed your life. Yeah, you over there. I collect your stories. It's a better collection than a collection of stuff. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.